let's review how to factor. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw my x, which I already did. And then I am going to multiply this number and this number. 3x squared times negative 2 is negative 6x squared. Then I'm going to write this number over here, which is negative x. After that, I need to find two numbers that will add to negative x, but when I multiply them, I'm going to get negative 6x squared. So what are some possibilities? Well, let's say 3 and 2. 3 times 2 is 6, right? So 3 and 2. However, I have negatives. So, because this number is negative, the biggest number here is going to have to be negative, right? And I'm missing my x's here. What I mean is that when I multiply negative 3x times 2x, I do get negative 6x squared. And when I add them, so if I was to add negative 3x plus 2x, I get negative 1x. Okay? So then I'm going to use my rectangle. And I need to write this number and this number. They have to be diagonal to each other. So that's like the only rule, that this has to be diagonal to this. So they have to be like that. Okay? Doesn't matter which way, it can also be like that. Just make sure that they're diagonal. Okay? And then I am going to write these two numbers over here. Also, does not matter in the order. These two don't matter. The only ones that matter again are that these two are diagonal. Okay, so now I can factor. So I'm going to find again the GCF, which is the greatest common factor. So let's look at these two numbers first, these two terms. What do they have in common? They have a 3x in common. Okay? What about these two numbers here? What do they have in common? Yes, they have a 2 in common. What about these two numbers here? What do they have in common? They have an x in common. What about the last one? What do these two have in common? They have a negative 1. Okay? So let me write this as a product. So I am going to write 3x plus 2. So I got this from here, times x minus 1, which is this right here. And this would be my product.